afternoon to everyone. Clearly we're making progress as we transition to a rolling programme of relaxations in our recovery pathway. The Executive has had a very positive meeting today where we have agreed some further relaxations to the restrictions. And we have also agreed a package of measures which will support families, children, young people and the vulnerable. I think the news today that the shielding scheme will be paused at the end of July will be met with mixed emotions by many people who've been shielding over the course of recent months. And I'm quite sure people will be feeling anxious about reintegration into society again, how they're going to live their lives being out and about. So we want to reassure all those people that have been shielding that you will be given advice and support to help you make that transition as safely as possible. The evidence presented to the Executive today was that community transmission is low, at a low level at present, which gives us again some headroom to signal our intention to make further easements, conditional easements, as per our plan. If this continues to be the case, then our hairdressers and our barbers will be permitted to open from the 6th of July. This is a positive development for the economy as well as the wider well-being of the population. Those businesses should use this time to prepare for safe reopening by implementing all necessary protective measures. We're also announcing today our intention to permit the reopening of places of worship from the 29th of June. And we're working closely with the faith community to ensure that this happens in the safest possible way. We're also actively considering issues around funerals, weddings, christenings and other celebrations, and will provide a further update on this as soon as possible. We said to you all whenever we embarked on this plan that we wouldn't keep restrictions in place for any longer than is necessary. We also acknowledged that we wouldn't necessarily move at the same pace across all areas. As we move through this journey to recovery, decisions continue to be guided by the science. We always try to find a balanced way forward. We always need to make sure that we're providing all possible support to all those who need it most, and that where possible, we can provide some degree of certainty to allow businesses and families to continue to plan for how they will make things work in what it continues to be the most challenging of situations for us all. The Executive has prioritised support for the vulnerable throughout this emergency, including those living in poverty, and we were able to provide financial support to families through a free school meals scheme during term time. However, no child should have to go hungry over the summer, and I'm delighted that the Executive has again agreed to ensure that we continue with free school meal payments over the summer, and also with the summer food scheme. Today, we also set out our childcare recovery strategy, very mindful of the need to recognise that as we open up the economy, we need to make sure that we deal with childcare. This plan in terms of childcare recovery is very much set in the context that as we reopen schools, that everything needs to be aligned. The key issues in the plan that we have set out today, and I suppose overriding principles and all of that, is that childcare needs to be affordable, it needs to be safe, parents must have access to it, and the workforce must be supported. So the key areas in our plan today are around the key worker definition, and from the 29th of June, the definition of a key worker will no longer apply to childcare purposes, again allowing more parents to be able to avail of childcare. There's going to be quicker turnaround times for reopening, so when childcare providers apply for registration, the Department of Health has 3 days to respond to allow you to open up speedily. In terms of daycare and school age settings, there's going to be no minimum or maximum capacity. However, the guidance around play pods stands, and that's how people need to conduct their business. We hope that by September that we will be in a position that daycare and school age childcare settings will be working to full capacity. In terms of childminders, we're hoping by the 29th of June, childminders will be able to provide childcare for 4 families in their homes at one time. This could mean that childcarers can provide childcare to more than 4 families in any day or given within any week. This number will rise to 5 in August, and again, we're hopeful that all being well, that this will be returned to full capacity by September 2020. And we're also developing a funding package, and we're going to discuss that more next week. So how can we support childcare into the future? So I believe this provides a good roadmap for ensuring that we have enough childcare in place to support families and support recovery, which brings much needed certainty. Today we also heard from the Education Minister around restart plans. And can I just put on record the contribution that teachers have made over the course of recent months in the most challenging of circumstances has been exceptional, and we really commend all that you have done in trying to keep our children educated throughout this period, and it hasn't been an easy journey for you all. So we just want to put on record our thanks to you for that. So today we have the first step, if you like, in terms of getting us back to school resumption. The objective is to have schools opened on a full-time basis, to make sure that all pupils are back into school for classroom-based learning in a way that's so safe to do so. So this is only the first step, and obviously there'll be more guidance to follow, but this step forward allows schools to receive guidance and make plans for September. Plans are also being progressed to run summer schemes for children with special educational needs and youth services and summer programmes. So I hope that the information that we're giving the public today is helpful in terms of looking to the future. Always mindful of the fact that we are still in the pandemic. We still have challenges to work through. This isn't an easy period, but we're continuing to step forward through our recovery plan, and we're grateful for your assistance to be able to do that. Thank you.